I love hearing that because I'm a big fan of strategically planning for the future and trying to integrate different factors. So many times I hear people saying, we're going to do this. It's like, well, that's so singularly focused. You need to think about how it impacts businesses and residences and
Mhm.
commuters and all facets. And I think it's fascinating. I am curious now that we're in the middle of this coronavirus situation where you're working from home, I'm working from home. We were talking before we got on. We've both been working from home like 4 straight months. I'm probably never going to go back to the office unless I have to for an in-person meeting, but working from home is so convenient for me. And we're getting ready to release a report later this summer that says, I think the University of Chicago estimates 37% of Americans have work, jobs, and responsibilities that they can do from home. And they extrapolated, said if those 37% worked from home 1 day a week, we reduce emissions by 5% across the board. Boom, just like that. And then I'm seeing articles about big corporations rethinking the footprint they need for their headquarters or the metropolitan offices and
Mhm.
possibly going to more distributed office space where you're leveraging the at-home or remote office type concept. Has that started percolating within the urban planning community as to what does that mean for these strategic plans and how we move forward and how we might need to adjust our strategies?
Mhm. Great question, John. I think people are potentially they're aware of the potential changes when it comes to uh, you know people working from home, what the company footprint looks like, and how that changes our commutes. If you say 37% are going to be staying from home, that's a whole lot less people that need to drive into the city or need to take public transit. That's going to make that's going to be a significant impact and significant change in terms of how our cities are going to be designed and how people are placed in them. So I think the planning role, as if we see this trend continue, if this trend starts to hold, and over the next few years, the planners will have to adjust their designs to that new reality of the majority of people work from home at least 1 day, if not the entire week, like most of us are, like a good bit of us are doing now. Um, so that's important. I will say though that we also note that it's important to note that uh, we still need to provide transit for our essential workers, right? So people who work in our grocery stores, the people who work in hospitals, many of them who may not have a car and need to get onto public transit to get to to their jobs and to their hospitals, and maybe taking their kids to school as well. So I think you're going to have to take into account uh, those who can work from home, but also there's a significant amount of population that still needs those traditional transportation options to get to places because they can't work from home. They have to do their jobs at their locations. And so we have to make sure that for both groups of people that we have transportation options for them that they can get to easily, and it's cost effective and is timely. So I think we have to make sure that we get that. Not not just focusing on those who work from home, as that's going to be a big change, but we also need to make sure that we need to maintain our systems in order to provide opportunities for essential workers to get to where they need to go.